Hi everyone. I'm Eric Cochran with the Cochran Doctrine. Click below to subscribe to my channel. For those of you who I'm connected with, you likely saw my post a couple of weeks ago about how I've reached my 6-month mark right here in Tampa. And this comes, of course, one weekend after the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl on our home turf. This past year certainly has been difficult for a lot of people, but I honestly have to say I've succeeded in what I set out to do at the start of last year, and that's really all I can ask for. I want to start this story over 4.5 years ago in August of 2013. It was right before the Rio Olympics started when my parents announced that they were separating 1 month shy of a 30-year marriage. Since I had graduated from college in December 2013, I had set my sights on someday moving to the Tampa Bay area. Now that they were splitting, they had offered to support me for a few months, moving to Tampa to get me away from what was going on between them and Destin. I had my anxieties about it, but I decided to take it. Initially, I decided that I would work full-time as an Uber driver, but having a Florida insurance license, I decided I'd try and sell insurance in a new market. By the start of 2017, I discovered that wasn't going to work. I was briefly hired by Stanley Steamer in Pasco County to be let go within the first month, and then decided to go to truck driving school where I accumulated a $5,200 debt without passing the exam to get my CDL. Broke and desperate, I went back home to Destin in April of 2017, where my parents would continue battling it out for the next 15 months before a settlement was reached. It was a terrible nearly 8 months between August 2016 and 17, but I got home for one more year before we sold our family home, worked my tail off paying off my debts by the start of 2018, and decided I would make it back to Tampa eventually. When the home got sold the following summer after the divorce settlement, I, for the first time, moved out and started paying my own rent. By then, though, that was pretty much the only thing I wasn't paying for. I was nearly paid off a vehicle, my car, my health insurance, and cell phone. Another obstacle would come at the start of 2019 when my then employer in the shuttle industry adopted a new business model, forcing all his drivers to convert their own vehicles into commercial vehicles if they wished to continue working for him. It was a whole new bundle of expenses I had to fit into my budget. By the start of the summer 2019, I would trade my 2013 Kia Sorento in for a 2015 Sedona. It was a great purchase and a very productive summer followed. By the season's end, I got hit with a ton of vehicle expenses where I started racking up the debts on my credit card. In spite of the debt I was carrying going into the new year of 2020, it looked like it was going to be a great year. I got a good tax refund by the end of February of last year, paid some dues, then the spring crowd started coming. And then, not long after, the COVID lockdown started, the beaches and bars and restaurants were closed, so nobody was coming to the beach. I had worked too hard through 2019. I had invested too much in getting my own LLC started for this to have happened. Excuse me. I thought I'd be able to return to Tampa by the end of summer 2020, but it looked like that might no longer happen. I recalled struggling financially back in 2017. I'll tell you, I've battled anxiety my entire life, and there's nothing more stressful than having to pay bills, being in debt, having no income, and uncertainty that lies ahead. The happiest day of my life last year was when Governor DeSantis gave the green light that people could gradually start reopening their businesses and going back to the beach. May 1st last year was a Friday and the start of a beautiful weekend in Destin. I went out and got my van detailed that morning, then went to the beach that afternoon. I proudly posted myself there on Facebook and wrote the rental business was going back into place. I was encouraging people to come to town and visit after being locked up for a month and a half. It was mostly positive, the feedback I got, but some were incredibly negative. I then went out and Ubered that night, making over $100 in just a few hours. My morale had skyrocketed in 24 hours. I kept going out and Ubering almost every night thereafter until I made at least $100. By Memorial Day weekend, the demand for the shuttle business was back at the 2 local airports I served, and I was making a killing every weekend going forward. My best Saturday last summer, I made over $500. I worked all summer, and then the second weekend of August, I moved back here to Tampa, 3 years and 4 months after I returned home in April 2017. Like many Florida residents, I give my credit to Governor DeSantis, who's put his faith in his people to use sound judgment during this pandemic. As much criticism as his maverick tactics have taken, everybody I talk to on the job wishes their governor was Ron DeSantis. I've spoken to so many people, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, New York, residents who would move to Florida tomorrow if they could. I sure hope we can someday call him President DeSantis. I'm Eric Cochran, and thank you for watching the Cochran Doctrine. Until next time, peace out.